Murs, what if anything have you learned about the Christian hip hop industry or the Christian music industry through doing this album?
I don't know much about it currently. Like I said, historically I know a lot about it.
Right. You know more than probably most Christian hip hop fans.
It's too opinionated. I think for the same reasons I don't associate with Christianity. I want it to be known like I love and respect Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? I believe a majority of the Bible is true. Um, but Jesus didn't call himself a Christian because Jesus was Jesus Christ. Like it's kind of like the Black Lives Matter thing. Like you don't need to hear it from my mouth. Um, I love and respect Jesus Christ. My whole family, for many eons, and I don't respect a lot of the Christian rap fans. I don't respect a lot of the CHH culture because I feel like it's anti-Jesus to push people away because of how they are. You know what I mean? You're not going to reach people by building walls. And I talked to a friend about this. This generation is, all this self-help stuff about setting boundaries. You have to set boundaries. Boundaries only make you comfortable. You know what I mean? You wouldn't pray for God's protection if God set up boundaries. God doesn't want boundaries. And you draw them by your language or how someone dresses or what they say instead of the actions of these people. And so I don't like that. That's not how Christian hip hop started to me, and it's not seen out. So I didn't care to stay up on it. When I was doing paid dues, I stayed up on it because I love hip hop and I want people from all walks. But as far as like getting to know these people, I don't. But I like all things like I'm still in tune with rap. So if you make good rap, I don't care where you're from. You know what I mean? I know that Upchurch, who is a hip hop Confederate flag flying rapper, is talented. You know what I mean? Because I love hip hop that much. So I know that when Propaganda dropped Crimson Court, I was like, who's this? Who's this charting on iTunes? I was like, oh man, he's dope. Same thing with Dee-1. Same thing with Toby and Wigway. Like all these people like I'm aware of, but I don't really know I don't know the politics of the scene. Same thing with John Gibbs, Belief, Ruslan, Pigeon John, LA Symphony. I've always kept a feeler on Christian hip hop, but I don't like when we did an interview down at South by Southwest. I didn't know what a Rapzilla was. Like I follow Rapzilla because I thought it was about rap music. I didn't know it was about. I knew what Rapzilla was. I just didn't know it was a Christian hip hop
Right, right.
platform. I just knew that these are rappers. I follow them on Twitter. So yeah. So I don't know if I've learned much. I've also like I'll end with this. Like I come from gang culture. There's positives to it. There's negatives to it. Um, if you're cripping, what you learn really quick is not everybody from your gang is tough. Not everybody from your gang is not a snitch. Not everybody from your gang is down. And Christians have the same vision. Like not everybody in your thing is holy, bro. Some of your big homies are fraudulent. Some of them are punks. And the loudest people banging the hood run when trouble starts or want to transform. I see a lot of Christian rappers seeking the validation of secular rappers. And that's like Crips seeking this validation of a blood neighborhood. I'm like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And then it just like if you say you're something, be that. But be that for real. Don't disregard rap. And then the whole thing's like, are you really being that? Because that's not what Jesus wanted in the first place. You know what I mean? But Jesus also didn't buddy up with people doing negative things, Mm. Like it's the difference with saying like, oh, I'm open to speaking to this brother. I'm open to blah, blah, blah. But Jesus wasn't posing for pictures with demons. You know what I mean? And there's some people like when you seek that validation, that shows weakness to me in your heart. I've never been cool. I've always been a weirdo. I've always, you know what I mean? So I'm very confident in who I am. And I'm confident enough in who I am. So if I don't curse on a rap record with Dee-1, I know that that's okay. It doesn't change who I am. But at the same time, like I said, I'm not going to pander to the CHH audience, just like I don't pander to the mainstream. I make underground rap. I grew up in inner city LA. I could have told a lot of stories. I could have chose a lot of different beats. I could have created a persona like many people do for my city and became what sells. And I'm not going to do that. And and to me, that's more Christian than most Christians. because to me, that's more of what Jesus did. Um, I promote being righteous and being true to yourself. Hush.
That's dope, man. Now both of you guys are really like being real on this, and I do appreciate that. Um, Now, D, let me ask you. I kind of asked you about before, like on your Instagram, you got your pictures with the Jamie Foxxes, with your, with Master P. You have a lot of pictures with people. So what's it like being able to kind of go and navigate your way through these spaces and be a man of faith? Because I'm sure you see a lot of stuff, you're exposed to a lot of stuff, but you have to stay true to who you are.
Yeah, so it feels great that when people know who I am and what I stand for, honestly, bro, they just respect my mind. So they're drawn to the fact that I'm comfortable in my own skin. So even if it's different from how they're living, they appreciate that and they welcome that. One thing in my community I learned early on is people in the hood respect success and authenticity, bro. So that's why it's always been important for me to show like people say all the time, bro, you gotta show what you got a little more. You gotta show your success a little more. And my thing is like, bro, I show my success, but I just want to challenge the narrative of what success has to look like. You know what I mean? Like my success is evident in the fact that I've been doing this stuff for a decade, from, being a full-time teacher to jumping out here with no big cosigns or anything like that, and being able to do this and still be rising. So the
Hey, bro,
success.
I'm a big cosign. Let me stop you right there. I cosign you. I'm big name, bro. Don't belittle me like that on this interview, bro. You ain't gonna be doing that.
All right, I got a Murs cosign, and it got me number 138 on the charts. You're right. Thank you, bro. But but honestly, bro, the success is good because it speaks for itself to a lot of these other celebrities who you're talking about, Justin. So a Master P knows who D1 is because he's hearing about D1. He's seeing D1 on television. He's watching D1 tour. He's seeing his son Romeo, be super close with D1 and have a great friendship with D1. But the authenticity, that's the part where people in the streets, man, they respect a dude who's, like Murs said, they respect a dude who is comfortable in his skin, to where he's not trying to just be like them, or he don't seem like he's so eager to run and get a picture with them. He's just kind of cool at his own table, and they see people gathering around his table because they're attracted to him. And that makes that dude that's sitting at that other table kind of look over at you like, dang, all right, I know I'm popular at my own table, but I'm looking across the cafeteria like, who is that dude? Because I see him. He's not in a rush to come over here with the cool kids. That's what a lot of Christian rappers have done, man. In my time being in hip hop, it's just been so thirsty for validation from the mainstream music industry. Like I said, bro, that's never been my thing. I've been the homecoming king. I've been the star basketball player. I've been the dude who had, whatever people would deem as being popular. I've had all that stuff. I come from the Ninth Ward in New
What's
Orleans. That type of stuff, though, honestly, for me, it feels great, man, because I might post a picture and that catches people's attention. Dang, you were playing basketball with Jamie Foxx. Dang, you and Master P were joking around with each other. But what people not seeing that I'm not posting is me and the governor of Louisiana sitting down, talking about making real change in my state. Me being appointed to the Louisiana Council on the success of Black men and boys by the governor of my state. Me and the mayor DMing each other, and she's sitting here talking to me about what I can help do to get her messaging out, to the city more, and tapping into me and my team. That's what people aren't seeing, or they're not as amazed by that stuff. But to me, that stuff holds just as much weight, because a conversation or a picture with a celebrity, I mean, at this point, bro, like, what is that really doing? If I'm not able to build with them in a way that can ultimately bring them closer to Christ, I look at it like, man, I'm just a poser, So more than the Jamie Foxx pictures of us on the basketball court, I'm appreciative of that 10-minute conversation that we had after the games ended, because only he and I know what we talked about with Master P. I'm appreciative. I got to say this. I'm appreciative that the city of New Orleans can see a young Black man who has chosen, because this is a choice on how I'm using my gift, bro. I could be rapping like a baby Lil Wayne, or like you know, a baby whoever that's come from here that I grew up listening to. But I'm glad that my city gets to see a young Black man who has chosen to use his gifts to represent not only his city and not only his heritage and his culture, but represent God to the fullest, to where you can hear it in my music and you can see it every day. Although I'm broken, although you know I'm an incomplete human being, I'm a flawed human being. You can see it every day that I'm walking out my faith, and I'm also putting it on records. I just love that my city can symbolically see that, to know that it's possible and to still succeed, because they see me on the BET Hip Hop Awards. They see me touring. They see me charting. You know, me and Murs put out an album the same week as Currency and Harry Fraud. You know what I mean? That's how you say his last name, Fraud. Yeah. Like they peaked at number 3 on the charts. We peaked at number 19 on the charts. Guess what? We both top 20. That's still an accomplishment. You feel me? Like I want people to be able to see that. They're like, yo, we still able to win by being ourselves and by wanting to put God first, bro. To me, that's powerful, because I got nephews that's 13 and 14 years old, and I love the fact that they can look at it like, dang, okay, it's not corny to be real. It's not corny to be a man of God. Like, they need to see that stuff because that empowers them moving forward.
You're constantly moving, so you are trying to be that impact person. And Murs, you're constantly moving too. So what's next for you two, either together or separate?
I'm putting out my album. Like Patreon and Twitch is something I do every month and every day. I'm continuing those platforms, and I got a new album coming out produced by DJ Fresh called Love and Rockets 2, The Declaration, dropping later this year. And just trying to find a way, really ways to connect with fans. My big thing is just creating community, whether it be on the Patreon or Twitch or Instagram's kind of hard to build community. I like bouncing off of people. I have a program called Ground Waves that I run in Colorado. I'm trying to bring Ground Waves to other markets where hip hop is underserved, and kind of just teaching, not teaching people how to rap, but helping them. That's fulfilling to me. Just being part of this hip hop community has always been extremely important to me. So continuing to be a positive force in the hip hop community on the big picture. On the
Right.
release schedule, I'm gonna drop this album and I'm gonna chill for a while. I've done a lot this year. But I feel like this next album is the most important and the best album of my career. So just focusing on making sure that's presented right and rolled out correctly. And and I mean, on a personal level, like, and this is something I know is corny to people now, but being a father, you know what I mean? Being a good husband, being a good partner to my wife, and being a supportive person in my family's life, because there's a lot of turmoil going, so yeah, just doing whatever I can to be a better father and be a better, Brother Ali was a Muslim. I said this on IG Live, but he hit me with something one day, just like every morning I get up and the first thing I do is ask Allah for forgiveness. And so I've been, asking God every morning for forgiveness. You know what I mean? Because I know I messed up. I know I'm about to mess up. And so just trying to, to be not be better, just trying to be outstanding at whatever I do.
Be
Being
better than better.
Yeah.
Be
Outstanding rapper, being an outstanding, and being focusing on being grateful and thanking God for all that He's given me, in spite of all that's been taken away, in the face of all that. Like, we lost. You're looking at 2 artists right now that tour their butts off and just lost that. No 2-week notice, no nothing, just gone. And here we are, still breathing, living, talking, producing music, and and people can say what they want, because there's rappers who don't believe in God, who don't love Jesus or whatever, that got the same blessing. But I know from where my blessings flow, as my mother would say. So I make sure to be grateful, and as we did on this album, continue to praise His name, and in my way, in my walk with Christ, because it's about my relationship. And I think that's another issue I have with Christians, you know what I mean? And but I think it's the whole thing, like with the BLM movement, with everything, is like you gotta watch what's popular. Jesus wasn't popular. Martin Luther King wasn't popular. People who make real, even as flawed as he was, George Washington wasn't popular. If you watch Hamilton, you can, the American Revolution had a 70% disapproval rate, But now in hindsight, it looks like a great thing. Now in hindsight, Jesus is your Savior and Lord, But if you were looking Jesus in the face, you might have spat on him, the way a lot of people behave. So when we're number 19, it kind of makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. When I look who's at the top, I don't know if I want to be there. You know what I mean? Because I'm not willing. I know what it takes. I've been around, and you can check my file. I've been around a lot of great rappers. I know exactly what it takes. And me and David talk about this all the time, is I'm not willing to do that. When I was on Warner Brothers, rappers hated coming to my sessions. Producers would be like, I don't want no smoking, no women, no drinking. Murs is in here working, and he doesn't eat meat. People were like, boy, they might do one session, but they ain't about to hunker down with me. But I didn't change that, because like D1 said, in the hood, I learned that early. That, even today, my neighbor is a super, super OG. If I dropped his name right now, it'd be crazy. Super OG street legend, LA rap legend. I walked outside today. I don't know if you can see him, but I got wings on my socks for Captain America. He said, hey, man, what you doing? What's going on with them socks, But all the OGs always looked at me like, why are you wearing rollerblades, cuz? Like, but they would never let nobody mess with me. They respected it because they knew I didn't care.
Authentic.
You know what I mean? It didn't make me soft. It just made me courageous. And they knew what bravery was. And I think that's what D1 has. He's and I've seen him come into that. Like you said, he didn't come in as a Christian rapper. But the more he gets stronger in his walk, it's not the quieter he gets. The louder and the more verbose and more proud he gets. And I admire that about him. And I think to be completely blasphemous, to adopt the 5% slang, we are A-alikes. You know what I'm saying? We A-alike, we be alike, so we see alike. And that's the thing. Like, I see the truth in all faiths and walks of God. And I think that's what also kind of pushes me out of the Christian realm. But it doesn't make me love Jesus any less because you don't love me. I can't, this COVID thing, like, my life has been really rough, and D knows this, you know what I mean? Which has brought me closer into Christianity, as we have come to call it. My wife and I were pregnant. She was 41 weeks pregnant, and my child was stillborn. My son died. And man, if nothing else will make you hate God,
Sorry,
you know
man.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But man, I listened to a podcast, and it was saying that Christianity is the only religion where the prime deity made a sacrifice. And what did God sacrifice?
His son.
His son. And what did I lose?
Your son.
And it was so powerful. And in COVID, and during the COVID thing, I've been watering my plants and seeing how God creates life from a seed, and relating that to all the scriptures that, and just like seeing the things to grow in their season. Literally, I could water this plant all day right now. I've never watered this plant so much in my life, but I can't make it grow until it's time. You know what I mean? It teaches this COVID thing, like, it's been a blessing with the family in so many ways. It's been amazing to be alive in this time. It's crazy, it's horrible, but and like you guys are both like, it wasn't easy for Jesus. You know what I mean? His own son. So why would it be easy for us? And to stay positive. And imagine, I look at you like, I'm so happy that you're stuck at home with your kids, Justin, because there are the kids during this time that are stuck at home with abusive pieces of crap.
Yeah.
But I'm able to instill so much in this generation of kids 10 years from now are going to have so much more focus, because they weren't latchkey kids like some of us were. And it's going to change. So I'm knowing that a good people will be at home with their children for a long amount of time. It drives us crazy. It's hard as heck. But in the end, these kids are going to be getting so much more.
he said a lot of truth in that answer. And oh my gosh.
You got to
Wait, what's
follow that
next?
up.
Are you getting married, bro? Is your DM still open?
Yeah, they said the question was what's next? You know, what's coming up. So definitely uh let's just start there before we even get to music.
DM stands for David's marriage. That's what you gotta send him that DM.
Right. So I'm definitely looking forward to being married. You know, as of today, I can't tell you who that's gonna be too, because I don't know. But what I am doing is taking the steps necessary to be the man that will be worthy of marrying, because a lot of people can look at me on the surface or aesthetically and be like, wow, that's who I would want to be with. But I know that there's so much. I've been blessed as a Black man to see my parents married for over 30 years at this point, still married to this day. And my grandparents were married for 66 years before my grandmother passed earlier this year. So for me to be able to see that, I know that it's no walk in the park, and it takes a lot of hard work, and God has to be at the center of it. So with that being said, I'm doing the things. I've taken a different route from all the men in my family. They're all blue collar workers. Nobody went to college. Everybody learned a trade and had a skill.
You're a blue collar rapper, bro.
Yeah, I'm a blue. I don't know if I'm a blue collar rapper, bro. I don't know.
That's what
Maybe
Spin Magazine called me. I've been called a lot of things, but you fit that description, bro.
for real.
Because we tour, we get out there, we touch the fans with our hands. We're very hands-on with our craft. Like
Not anymore.
Yeah,
You don't be touching those fans anymore.
that goes double in two ways for David right now. Don't be touching them fans, and don't be touching them
And
fans.
don't be touching them fans. Don't be touching them and don't be touching them. Right.
Yeah,
Nah,
a beautiful curvy distraction.
realest line on the album. But hey, that being said, I'm looking forward to being a husband, and this time of being slowed down has allowed me to just do simple things, man, like go running, you know, like to exercise regularly, to be able to walk on the levee here in New Orleans and enjoy nature with some consistency, and allow my brain to expand beyond just this never-ending to-do list as an artist every day of okay, I gotta make this call, make this email, gotta post this, create this, check on the mix and master for this. It's allowed me to just be able to mentally breathe, and that has allowed me to self-reflect in a way that that I not only do I see what I need to improve on, but I'm having that time to actually put into making those improvements. So as we're doing this interview right here, like I said, I'm on a spiritual high right now. I really am, and I'm thankful for that. And I want this to continue, and I know that it will continue as long as I'm putting in my part, because God is like, yo, I've been here the whole time, you know, like I've always been here for your continued elevation. But it's so easy to get to a good place that still is comfortable for me, and then be like, all right, I'm gonna just chill right here. I'm not gonna keep spiritually growing. But I'm growing right now, and that feels great. So I look forward to being somebody's husband one day. And outside of that, what else is coming up is new solo music from me. The new title of my solo album is called Finding Balance. Finding balance is, bro, those are the two words that I think describe a lot of people's 2020, including my 2020. Before I knew anything about a pandemic, I lost my favorite girl in the whole world, you know, my grandmother. And there was a lot of lessons learned in her passing. The night before I got the call that she was in her last days, I was in LA with Murs. We were at an event together for the Grammys. And you know, from the time I got that call, I think he's one of the people I called and told what happened, because we had just shot a music video together. And, you know, I told him what was up, and I just, you know, I was in tears on the phone and everything. And just, you know, that definitely put me into a place where it's just like, man, everything has to count, because my grandma made everything count. Like every interaction with her, every phone call, you just felt her love. And she wasn't a person who, you know, had social media or was a celebrity on any level, but the love that she spread is something that still feels like my life and the lives of anybody that she impacted. It still does it to this day. Like we still feel her love. And that inspired me to want to make sure that my music and my ministry can have that type of impact on people. So like Murs said, I want to get bolder, not only in my music, but I want to get bolder in my pursuit of bringing people closer to God, whether they're in this industry or whether it's the dude across the hall from me right now who I see out there. I just want people to know, like, yo, that dude is cool. He's relatable. You know, he's a good guy, but he's really passionate about trying to spread the word of God. You know, in a way that people can connect with. And I think that's what's next for me, is to continue down that path, because it's not good enough to just be good, you know, when it comes to God. Like, good ain't good enough. So, you know, you got to strive to be great. And the definition of being great is spreading God's word and trying to make sure that be discipled, you know, on a personal level, but also through my music. Like, I want people to feel like they grew closer to our Lord because of the music and just the public ministry of D1. So that's all. That's what's next for me, yo. Is just trying to do that, because time is ticking for everybody on this interview and everybody watching this interview. Time is ticking, y'all. So whatever really matters at the end of the day, whatever that big picture is, consider that your number one priority from this day moving forward. And for me, that is the number one priority, more than selling records, more than setting up tours, is getting people closer to Jesus.